So what was it like to be able to relive that era of your life and see that?
It's definitely a little bit breathtaking right now because I mean I haven't really thought about all those feelings pretty much just living with life today, but that brought back a lot of memories, and a lot of the bands that we're talking about is exactly it. They were influenced us as kids and as rock and roll kids wanting to learn our instruments and be influenced by great players that really ended up being world international rock and roll stars.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, what an era to see some of the seeds that we're playing. I mean, a band like Metallica is still relevant today.
Yes, Metallica. I mean, they're friends. They were friends back then. And,
talk about your earliest memories of meeting them.
Oh well, I remember Metallica. They came from the Bay Area, and they were really different. Other than we were really different in LA. We weren't glam and we weren't thrash. We were just kind of more into heavy songs and Scorpions and Priest and UFO, Michael Schenker.
Yeah.
But they had more of a thrashy new sort of style, and we ended up doing some great shows at the Country Club, and that's we became friends and
what a great place in Reseda. You can't even imagine that was the rock and roll capital at Sherman Way and Reseda.
The shows, it was just such an amazing scene. It was just something to do every single night. And it was just happening everywhere. And I wonder where those times have gone. And Bob reminded me about all those times, and it's such a great feeling. I think any young kid who's into music, who wants to get into a little bit of history and learn where rock bands come from and gain some inspiration, I think that's where they got to go, to the roots. And before that, down to the blues.
Amazing. Now, I know Armored Saint, you guys even go back with Ron Fair, who became this big producer running Geffen and RCA. Tell us about working with Ron.
Ron Fair. We met Ron Fair at Track Record when we loaded in at midnight with Brian Slagle was allowing us to record a little demo that was one song was going to be allowed to go onto the Metal Massacre 2. There was a slot that opened up.
Wow.
He saw us. He, brought us into Track. We loaded it by midnight. We did our sounds and everything till like 4 in the morning. Got really loaded on some opium, and then we wanted to try a track, which was we just tried False Alarm, which ended up on the record. All buzzed and all, but it was musically just had the right feel. And so hey.
Amazing. The beginning of Metal Blade, the beginning of Armored Saint to this day.
And Ron, that's where we met Ron Fair, because Ron Fair was actually doing some mixing there. And
he signed you to Chrysalis.
Crossed paths and eventually signed us to Chrysalis.
Wow, you're on that iconic label, the UFO and Blondie and Jethro Tull
Billy
and all
Idol.
that stuff, all that. Amazing stuff. Well, what's your greatest advice to young bands and artists today? What do they need to really concentrate to, in this different day and time?
Number one is understand that music is part of you and around you everywhere you are. It never stops playing. So I suggest a book called The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten. That'll open the eyes of a lot of people. But number one is learn your instrument, get into music, and write your own songs.
The original, take chances, find your own voice.
Yeah, but the elements of music are also the elements of life, and the elements of mathematics are all inclusive. So educate yourself, get into music. It has all the modes that one can translate into one's life and apply to share light and beauty.